Hey guys, I have a new pattern for you today. It's a pretty simple wrap sweater that's actually only 2 pieces, so let's get into it. This one takes 2 skeins of this yarn, Karen Chunky Cakes. So let's get into it. Alright, so to start, you're going to chain 96 on size 10 needles. I am on the 82nd, 83rd, 84th. So you're gonna go up to 96. That was 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, actually row 2 after the knit stitch row is also easy. You're just going to be purling because you're not actually stitching this in the round. So just purl 96 stitches for row 2. Alright, so I finished the second row, which was just a whole row of purling, and now the third row is our decrease row. Let me just turn the work, and I'm going to show you how we do our decreases. You're going to have one decrease at the beginning of the row, and what you're going to do is you're going to go through both of these stitches like this, just like a regular knit stitch, but you're going through both, and then you're going to here, let me try and show it more slowly. You're going to go through, you're going to put your yarn right here, and then you're going to take it off with the needle and pull it through both stitches, and that's how you do your decrease. And you want the first stitch to be on the top so that it is going inwards like this, because if you do it the opposite way, which is also like a more difficult way to do it, if you're going to do it like this, where you go through the first, or where you go through the second stitch first, it just doesn't look as nice in my opinion. I guess you could do it that way, but I kind of prefer to have the outside stitch on top when I do the decrease. So I guess I'll show it one more time. Fix this. So you pull through both stitches right through the back, take your, oh, got stuck. Take this, pull through both stitches, make sure you keep your stitch, and then you just continue with the knit stitch as normal until you get to the last 2 stitches of this row, which are also a decrease, and I will show that at the end of the row. Alright, we are at the last 2 stitches of the third row, and we actually are going to do it the complicated way this time, because I want the outside stitch to be the one on top. So you're going to do it like this, so you get this stitch over this stitch, and it looks like it's all going inward. So I'll show it again. You're going to put the needle through the second stitch first, or the outside stitch, then through the other one, and then you're just going to get your yarn over the needle, pull through both stitches, and you've done your decrease. So the row progression is a knit row, a purl row, and then a knit row with the 2 decreases on the 2 outside edges. And that's what you're gonna do from row 4 through 48. And at that point we will do a bigger decrease and switch to the sleeve, but for now it's pretty simple. It's just this row progression. Okay, so we're somewhere in the realm of like 47 to 49, row 47 to 49, so we've gone from our original 96 cast-ons to now you should have 72 stitches across here. And basically what you're doing is, it's the, because you were decreasing every other knit row, so you want to be on a knit row where you're not supposed to be decreasing. So here you can see I decreased this row, then you have the pro row, now you're on the knit row again. And what we're going to do is we're going to bind off, I believe it's 12 stitches. I'm just going to look at the other piece. No, I was wrong. You're binding off 18 stitches. So you're going to have you're somewhere in the realm of row 47 to 49, and it shouldn't be hard to figure it out because you have to be on the knit stitch after the decrease row, so it shouldn't be too hard. And we are just going to bind off 18 stitches. I will meet you back after that, because this can get a little confusing with the counting the stitches. Okay, so I've done my 18 stitches of bind off here, and you want to make sure, so here you have the one stitch on this side, and we're actually not going to like slide this over or anything. You want to have 54 stitches left in this row right now, and like, so this one will count as a stitch. So I've got one here, I've got 53 on this side, and because you've already done this stitch, it's just that it's like got a stitch slid over it. So I have 54 stitches, but now I'm only going to do 36 of them. Well, 35. So you're going to knit 35 stitches, or yeah, knit 35 stitches, and then after that you're going to bind off 18 more. So I will meet you at the end of these 36 stitches. Alright, here we are. There are 36 stitches on my left needle, 18 on my right needle, and I do not want to lose this stitch, so what I'm going to do is knit 2 and then start binding off here so that I still have the 36 on the other side and not losing any stitches on that side. And then you are just going to bind off for the rest of the row, and at the end of the row you're going to cut your yarn, completely bind off, and we will get back to the next row. Okay, we are at the end. We did our 18 binds off. 18 binds off? Alright. So this basically just make sure it's secure. You can do that pretty much any way you want. Usually I'll like weave it into a thing here and just kind of try to tie it off. But whatever works for you. You can actually leave the tail here if you'd like, because you're probably going to be stitching things together here. So if you have the tail, it'll just help, or if you end up like stitching to the tail, you can tie it off and then everything's a little more secure. Anyway, alright, now we're back at the 18 and we are going to flip it. So we're on the purl side, and we're just going to get that tail that we snipped off, and we're going to reincorporate it into the stitches, which is super easy. And all you do is just pull it through the first stitch and you're set. You can also like secure this if you'd like, but if you have a long enough tail, you shouldn't worry about it. You should secure it at some point, but for now you're fine. And we are just going to stitch. We're gonna purl stitch, and we are going to actually continue decreasing the same way we have been. So the next row, I'm going to do the 2 decreases on the edges. Then I'm going to do a purl stitch, a knit stitch, a purl stitch. And we are going to continue in that fashion until, I'm just checking the other piece. I did already do one of these, you do 2 of them, so let's see. Yeah, so you are going to continue to decrease until you have 18 stitches left in the row. And yeah, let's get going. I will meet you back at 18 stitches. This is one of the sleeves of the wrap sweater. Once you get to your last 18 stitches, when you're at the end of the decrease for the sleeve, you go into ribbing, which is just going to be a knit 1 purl 1 type pattern. And I just want to double check, but I believe it's 12. Yeah. So you do knit 1 purl 1 for 12 rows, and then you just do a bind off, and that's how you finish these pieces. Okay, when you're all set with knitting everything, you're going to have 2 pieces that look like this big one here. You're going to have 2 that much for watching, and I hope you have a nice rest of your day.